Since Steve and I are both sports fans, we're obviously very excited to speak to our next guest. In the past, he's hosted the Best Damn Sports Show, period. He's also the current host for MLB Network's Intentional Talk, along with the NFL Network's Game Day Highlights and Game Day Final. And now you can watch him every Sunday on ABC's revival of the hit robot combat competition, BattleBots. Please welcome to the showcast, Chris Rose. Chris, how's it going?
Doing great, guys. What's happening?
Not a whole lot. Excited for BattleBots to be back, though. I'm sure you are as well, obviously being a part of it.
Absolutely. I got to tell you the truth. When they approached me about it, they were like, "Are you interested in doing the play-by-play for BattleBots?" And I was like, "Excuse me? For what?" And so first time around, I have to admit that on Comedy Central, I didn't tune in, so I had to kind of immerse myself in the world. And once I did, I loved it. I was fascinated by what was going on. And even until I got up and we started taping this stuff up in the Bay Area, I couldn't quite wrap my hands around it. But we shot this thing out there, and you walk into, this is about 3 days before we started taping. If you could imagine, it's almost like pit row for NASCAR. Except all these bots are in one shop. So there's 24 of them all lying on these, almost like these gurneys, and there's like 4 or 5 different people working on a bot. So you walk in behind the curtain and you're like, holy crap, what the hell's going on in here? You know what, are we building stuff that's okay? Like nothing's going to explode, right? And it's an amazing, amazing world of these super talented people that have such a passion for the robotics world, and I'm super excited and proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, did you have to go back and like watch tape of the original or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what are the similarities? Because I know I vaguely remember the original one. I was probably in like high school when it came out, but what are some of the similarities and maybe more importantly the differences between the original and then the current iteration?
By the way, you're an asshole for telling me that you were in high school in 2003. So
I'm younger than he is.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Grandpa over here had to go look at the video
on VHS. I'm sure.
Yeah, on VHS, exactly. I brought out an old beta deck just for old time's sake. I would say that when it was brought to Whale Rock, which is the production company that is doing this for ABC, they got on the right path, but immediately with it. They wanted to bring out the stories of who these bot builders are. And I think that's the biggest difference between the Comedy Central show and what you're seeing right now on ABC is the reason that we've loved American Idol over the years and other shows like that is because you buy in with the people immediately.
Right.
Listen, the singing is what the singing is. You can find a ton of better singers all over the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you meet the person, when they come into that big room and they're nervous and they followed them back home as to why they're following their dreams, it's why you continue to care about these people. And
Sure.
I think that's what we're doing on ABC is we're kind of introducing you more to the people and what makes them tick. And how one guy sold his car, even though he's got a young baby, in order to continue to compete in this competition and fund his project. Now, that's crazy. And if I ever did that, I'd have to hire a divorce attorney on top of selling my car. But this is what makes them go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the people. Some of the robots that these people have been building are just incredible. We've seen multiple robots fighting for one team. We've seen robots shooting fire. We've seen robots have things that spin at 350 miles an hour so far. Is there absolutely no limit on the offensive weapons that we're going to be seeing here up in the upcoming weeks from the robots we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And the neat thing is that they're all playing by the same set of rules. Whereas in the original BattleBots, there were different weight classes. Here, it's everybody can weigh the same up to 250 pounds.
Okay.
So you have to figure out how to properly distribute that weight. If you have, for example, in the first show that aired, we had a bot that used a weapon that weighed almost 50 pounds, a 47-pound blade that was spinning 250, 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if you're going to use 1/5 of your weight on a weapon, are you going to be able to properly defend yourself and have enough armor should somebody take a big chunk out of you? So that's all part of the fun and games that we as viewers get to enjoy.
Absolutely.
What's the parameters or regulations for the mini bots? Because I wasn't 100% sure. Like, there a couple of them used them, a couple of them didn't, a couple of them used them and they kind of seemed pointless. A couple of them actually, I know in the first episode, one lit on fire and shot across the arena right at I think your face. I think it's what it. So what's like the regulations on those? Are they limited in size and weaponry, or how does that work?
Well, as you so aptly pointed out, I actually believe the reason the mini bots are around was to scare the shit out of me because a couple of those things got thrown around like a vertically challenged person. I'm not going to use midget. I don't think that's a fair word. And just got thrown around the ring. But I kind of asked the same question. I said, what's the point? They're kind of cute and fun and look like something one of my kids would want to buy in a toy store, but does it actually have a practical role? And they said, yeah, if anything, it could be a little diversionary tactic, meaning that if you've got two mini bots and then your main bot, maybe you're sending the mini bots around back to get stuck in the wheels of your opponent.
Okay.
And then your big bot can go in and do some damage. Now, it's easier said than done because you have to be able to drive. And that is the biggest difference between some of these bot builders. Some of them are kick-ass drivers. Others of them, they need to go back to school on the internet and learn how to drive properly. I don't know if it's traffic school or not, but get your ass back there and I'll see you back inside the BattleBots.
Well, we had mentioned your obviously history and current sports knowledge and everything that you do for both MLB, NFL Network, and all kinds of. You're all over the place, to be honest. How hard was it to transition into doing analysis, or from analysis in sports to doing analysis for fighting robots? I mean, it kind of sounds silly when you say it like that, but.
Well, why would it sound silly? I mean, who doesn't call backyard bot fighting in their spare time? I mean, I thought it was a laundry, check Marv Albert's resume. I guarantee it's on there. How do you think Bob Costas got his start? It wasn't in the ABA. No, it was with bot building. So we all come from that school. But the thing that probably prepped me the most for it was calling boxing, which I've done a little bit in recent years. That's the closest thing because it's a one-on-one battle. There are certain fighters that are more aggressive and more offensive in nature. There are more that play defense. You have to be able to accelerate, and maybe a fight is going along slowly, and then all of a sudden you gotta get really excited because something's happened and you didn't expect it, and there's bullets flying all over the place. So you have to have that gear in you, no pun intended, to be able to do that. And thankfully they decided to go my route, and I think it's not false enthusiasm on my part.
No, I don't doubt
Kenny
it.
Florian and I really enjoyed doing it. I found it amazing, and I think the thing that helps most is that the fights are 3 minutes. You can pour energy into a 3-minute fight. Now, if it was 12 rounds and 3 minutes per, you'd be dragging Kenny and I out of there, and you'd have to call a body bag to get it out. It wouldn't work.
I was gonna say, because I mean, ultimately, once the match starts, I mean, you can do analysis and stuff, but I really think, and I kind of found this personally too, once the match starts, it's really just pure entertainment. And I actually found myself legitimately laughing, not because something was funny, but just because I was giggling like a little boy at how awesome it was that these things were absolutely destroying each other.
Yeah, it's great. And we were the same way. And a lot of our calls are not going to go into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame because what you ended up hearing was, oh my God, so that's it. Like Kenny and I had the same reaction that you guys probably did watching on your couch. And we're not going to apologize for that because that's how we got into it.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. We're not taking it super seriously, but at the same time, you have to give these people respect for what they're doing because in some cases it takes 6 to 8 months to build a bot. And we're talking about people that in their spare time, that's all they do. This is it. They go out to the garage. They go down to their shop. They find space. And it's because it's been a dream of theirs. And now, hopefully, it's going to go from this semi-underground world into more mainstream. And the prize money will be bigger for them. The opportunities will be larger. And, they'll go wherever their yellow brick road takes them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I was going to say changing gears here, but you already used my gears pun. So we'll just
right.
say,
you know what? That's all right. As long as you credit me for it, you're fine. Go ahead.
But being the baseball fan that I am, I would be remiss here if I didn't ask the co-host of Intentional Talk a baseball question here. And I guess the biggest hot button issue in the MLB right now is those 7 Royals being in the All-Star game. So I just wonder if we could get your opinion on the type of internet ballot stuffing, I guess, that KC's doing right now. And if you are against it, how do we fix this All-Star game system here?
Well, I think it'll be looked into. I don't think there's any question about it. The guys that are in charge of it said we're not 100% foolproof on this. And however it plays out, it's going to play out. My point is this, and I get, hometown fans or whomever stuff in the ballot box. That's nothing new, okay? It's just it's so alarming because it's 7 guys.
Yeah.
But if you're a Kansas City Royals fan, and you won Game 7 of the World Series in your crib for the 2nd straight year.
For sure.
Are you telling me you are going to vote for Omar Infante over Jason Kipnis?
That's exactly
or Jose Altuve? Okay, now, if you could look me in the face and tell me that gives us a better chance to win, then I'll live with it. But I guarantee you'd be hard-pressed to find that Royals fan that could say, yep, no question, that's going to happen. But whatever.
Yeah,
to me, it never made sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that's my follow-up is at least personally, I think the fix would be not having the game decide who gets the 7th game of the World Series. I think that's the bigger issue because I don't know that it would be an issue unless the game was so important and it decided who got the 7th game of the World Series.
Well, right. And I was working at Fox when that came out, and that happened, if you'll remember, the year after the tie. Because they didn't want it to happen again where the commissioner of baseball is sitting there talking to the managers in extra innings saying, I don't have any more pitchers to use. And they're saying, what do you mean we don't have any more pitchers? This isn't a spring training game. This is the All-Star game. And Torrey and Brenly are up there in Milwaukee saying, sorry, dude, I made promises to these guys that I couldn't throw them. And so that's why they've made the modifications that if you're pitching on Sunday, you're not available to pitch in the game on Tuesday, all that sort of stuff. I personally, I didn't like it back then when I worked at Fox that the All-Star game should determine it, but I understood why it was happening. It's a ratings thing, and part of how we operate in television is based on ratings, and it's why, they're paying goo gobs of money, Fox, to broadcast this stuff. So I understand that aspect of it. I personally, listen, I've done the Pro Bowl the last 2 years in the NFL, and we've had a player draft, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how cool would it be if there was a draft on Monday, the day before the game? How neat would that be?
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. Everybody, with everybody how they love fantasy, I think that would be a huge hit, to be honest.
Yeah, it completely ties into the fantasy sports. Yeah.
And, people will say, well, wait a second, what about tradition? We've had the All-Star game, the American League against the National League since 1933. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
If you're going to be stuck in tradition, then you have an inability to forward think. You have an inability to be flexible. And you know what? Then go be that guy that keeps yelling, "Get off my lawn, you crazy kid!"
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
be that asshole. I don't need you. At least listen. Try and figure out. I mean, you're telling me that wouldn't get eyeballs on it?
Oh, definitely.
No,
I mean,
I 100% agree. I don't know why that hasn't been brought up. I guess because of the 7th game and the way that it's set up right now. But
yeah, I think that's my one.
Well,
go ahead.
Here's the thing. Thanks to your podcast, and as big as it is globally, we are going to change the way people think.
Perfect.
After today. Are we all on the same page, guys?
One small step, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's my biggest beef with baseball. And I think baseball's probably my second favorite sport, but that whole idea of being stuck in tradition sometimes bugs me a little bit. And I understand the unspoken rules.
I do have to say, I think things are changing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Rob Manfred, the new commissioner of baseball.
Yep.
And I think that he is willing to listen on a lot of issues and not walk around and say, listen, we've got all the right answers. And look at all the billion-dollar contracts that our teams are getting locally. And look at what we just got from Fox and ESPN as our national partners. I don't think he's content to just say, hey, we're doing fine. I think he's willing to be challenged. I think he's willing to listen. And I think that is a great personality trait to have when you are the leader of a company like he is.
100%. Hopefully that's the reason they elected him.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, if this thing with the Royals doesn't get things cooking, I think next year Steve and I here will work on getting a bunch of 7 Phillies nominated to the All-Star game, and then I think we would definitely see some change if that were the case.
Yeah, we got plenty of Omar Infantes to elect.
I was going to say, because the Royals are at least good. If we put 7 Phillies in there, I think we would make some noise.
Yeah, let me tell you something. That the 7, first of all, there's got to be probably a minimum of hitting 187 in order to start an All-Star game. So already we're down to about 4 Phillies.
Yeah, all right, we get 5.
They're out.
Yeah. And Michael Franco can only play one position, so you can't vote for him for like all 9 spots. So as long as we're all okay with that, then I'm good with the Phillies moving forward.
Okay, we might be down to 1 Philly at this point.
Poking holes in our strategy.
Well, thanks for spending a few extra minutes with Chris. We'll let you get going. But BattleBots, obviously, such an entertaining show, as we've been talking about. Be sure to check it out every Sunday on ABC at 9/8 Central, and make sure you follow Chris on Twitter at Chris Rose. And while you're at it, watch him on both MLB and NFL networks. Chris, thanks again for joining us.
You got it, guys. Anytime. Remember, we are here to change the world one ballot at a time.
That is exactly correct. All right, stick around. More Showcast in a few.